I'm excited too.
I am
Uh,
so excited to share you guys my amazing friend Barbara Kneeland. She's your a witch doctor, a modern day witch doctor and spiritual healer. And so she has blessed us by coming on today's podcast. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I always love coming on.
So before we started recording, we were talking about how congratulations, you made an amazing month income wise. Like you hit your goals. And you were sharing that you did something spiritual in nature to manifest this and make it come into fruition.
Yes.
Yes. So what is it that you do?
So first and foremost, I always set my intentions. I think about what it is that I want to work on, what is it that I want to manifest, what are my goals, right? Because to manifest is not about manifesting money, right? It's about manifesting what is it that you want to do with that money. So getting, a newer vehicle, going on vacation, buying a little home, an escape home, things like that. So I'll sit down with that intention. And then from there, I start creating like a vision in my mind of what that feels like. What is it that the joy that it brings? And then from there, I write it down. And then I start to create a little altar that has those intentions. And then I create money oil.
Okay, so what when you say you create an altar and you put the intentions on there, is it you're literally writing on a piece of paper and putting the paper on the altar or
Yes.
something symbolizes it? Okay.
So I do both. I go on to a piece of paper and I mark down exactly what is the intention. With that piece of paper, I burn that in a candle. So I take a candle and I will drench it in the intention. So I literally will get the candle that's going to be the candle that represents uh the color of, say, abundance, right? So say it's a green candle. I get the green candle and then I rub it down with different salt, uh herbs, oils, and then I'll write inside of the candle, the intention: abundance, new car, vacation, and I write that onto the candle. Then I have under the candle duplicate, the same intention on one paper as I have on the other. When I light that candle, I burn the first one to say, as and so it is, and so it will be. And then I put the other one just under the candle, that's got the oils and herbs and things like that.
Interesting. So you write the intentions on a piece of paper and that ends up being underneath the candle that also has the intentions written in it. Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. So I this is exactly what I'll do. I do a few things. So I'll just break it down when I'm gonna do a ritual. Okay. Normally I'll do it on a new moon. I'll watch the moon cycle. But if I feel the vibration just to do it, I'll just do it. So the very first step is I gather the candles I'm going to use. Usually I do it with a couple of people. So I'll get the candles we're going to use. I get the herbs we're going to use. I get the oils we're going to use and salt. Okay. I put that in a bowl. I have it mixed. Mix the oils, mix the herbs, mix the salt in a bowl. As I'm mixing it, I'm putting the joy, I'm putting the love, I'm putting the gratitude in that bowl. I'm praying on that bowl. And I'm saying thank you, as if it has already happened as I'm mixing the oils, the herbs, and the salt. Then I write on the candle. Normally, I'll get a stick candle, one that
Mhm.
you can write on. If not, if you get a circle in the glass, you can write around it. Okay. And if you don't want to write around it, you can just rub it down, rub it down. I learned a lesson rubbing the glass candles with oil because I broke one because it slipped right out of my hand and said, "Oh, you ain't gonna get shit." so, you gotta be careful. So I rub the candle. I rub and I massage that candle with all that love, all that oil, all those herbs, all the salt, and I just make love to the candle, with my intention. And then on a two pieces of notebook paper or stationery paper. I write the same thing on both. I say for me, I'll say my clients come to me easily and effortlessly. I secure business easily and effortlessly. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly and abundantly. I am a vessel of pure abundance. And whatever I feel is coming through me, I just write that down. On the second piece of paper, I duplicate it. I write the same thing. So that way, once that's done, another thing I do, I'm just telling you like how I do it in the moment.
Yeah, we
I
love
grab a check. I grab a check. I still have a checkbook from like back in the day. I still have all my checks. So I have my check and I'll write a check to myself for the year, what I'm going to make for the year. And my hands are still oily and greasy. If they're not, I grab a little more of the oil and then I rub my hands and I rub that check. I rub that check down. And I have a red envelope that I put that check in and that stays with me in my purse. That stays with me in my purse all the time to remind me I'm manifesting some shit. And then the altar, I'll put both intentions on there. I light the candle and I burn the first one in that candle. I burn it. And so it is, and so will be. Let it go, girl. Let it go. And I just leave it alone. Just leave it. And then I also, on the same day that I'm mixing the herbs, mixing the oils, and mixing all of that good jazz, I'll create a money oil at the same time. This kind of stuff, I just let sit. I'll kind of like pour it in my hand, and smells so good. And I'll rub it on my money that I keep in my wallet. I rub it in my money. I just keep it with me because this oil was created October 7, 2023 prosperity oil. And this has all the herbs, the salt, it has alcohol vodka. So that way, as a preservative.
hmm
It has holy water. It has everything, everything. And I got crystals in here, citrine,
hmm
for money. And I just leave it all on the altar together. And I let the candle just burn out. I don't turn the candle off. Now, if you feel you have to turn your candle off, I could appreciate that. Not everybody's comfortable with burning a candle. I usually put my candle in a little thing and then a little holder, and I put in a bowl of salt water again for purity. But in the event that something happens, the candles of water. But if you're not comfortable with that, blow out your candle, but blow out your candle with the intention of so it is. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And every time you light it with that intention. Every time you blow it out, you blow it out with that intention. And if you don't let it, I let mine just burn. Just let it go.
I've heard that from someone else that I talked to that she she does it for clients. She actually does it for clients. So she will make sure that sucker burns all the way down.
Just let it go. Yeah. Some people are uncomfortable with that, like, and can appreciate that. But the best way to do it is just let it go. Let it go.
Let it burn. So what can you share again? What was in the oil that you made?
So in this oil specifically, this has cloves, clover. It has citrine. It has frankincense. It has basil. It has cinnamon. Um, that's a whole lot of shit.
Do you just do it intuitively?
I do.
Okay.
I do have a list. I do already because I've done it so many times. I do have a list and I follow my list. Um, and I put things that not only attract money in here, but love, right? Like positive money, happy clients, happy people, happy energy for the happy money.
Yeah, I love that. And then what about the herbs? Do you have any specific herbs you recommend?
So the herbs, which ones did I do? Um, I know I have sage in here. I have hops, um, lemongrass. Um, wow, I have to like really. I made this in October, so I should have been more prepared. Lemongrass. um, rosemary. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what color salt do you use, or what type of salt?
So I use pure sea salt for light, and then I have pink Himalayan salt in here again for the love and the softness. So
Beautiful.
it's happy, happy,
I love it.
happy.
How long have you been doing this abundance rituals?
Wow, a while, quite a few years, at least. I'm getting older. I have to count back. Probably about 6 years, 7 years, about that time. I would say I was 30. Yeah, because I don't want to give my age away. But yeah, I was in my 30s, you know.
Okay. And have you seen a big difference since you started doing that?
Yes. So when I fall off the wagon and don't do it, I see the difference. I see the difference when I do it, and again, I think it's because I know I'm sitting down with myself and I'm creating that intention, and I'm communicating with God, with the universe, with my spirit team, because we are meant to be blessed. Ask and you shall receive, right? So if we could just keep that positive attitude, and I think where I learned really was to break the negative feelings towards money, because people would say, right, when you grow up, and I'm sure you, when you grow up, they say the root of all evil, or money brings out the ugly in people, or money will bring out like the person's real self, right? And so I had to separate from that kind of language, because money is beautiful, money is love, money is light, and for me, I believe God has intentions for everyone to be prosperous and everyone to receive. And this is something I learned too. If you, right, and I'm saying this for real, if you spend $500 at Costco, Target, the Kalahari, wherever you're at, and you spend that 500, right? And your heart is like, "Oh, I shouldn't have did that. Oh, I feel really bad." And then you run to your check, you go online and you look at your account and you have this negative attachment, right? God, the universe is going to say to you, "Oh, God says, I love you so much. I don't want you to feel bad. I'm love. I don't want you to feel bad. That made you feel bad. It'll never happen again. Don't worry." Because God, the universe, doesn't want you to feel bad, right? The universe wants you to feel good, happy, prosperous. So if that money made you feel bad, well, then we ain't going to say no more money. So
Mhm.
looking at with love, looking at it that when that money comes, you spend it with happiness, joy, excitement. And I had to work on that. I had to work on another thing you work on too, because if you're doing all your rituals, but your mindset is still, "Oh, my transmission blew. Oh, I got a flat tire. Oh, my window cracked. Great, I just got this money and now it's going toward here." Well, that's negative, because you should have blessed that money and said, "Thank you, Lord. I have this money to fix this. And I'm going to take this money and I'm going to fix this." And the next sum of money, it's already on its way. It's already on its way. It's full circle. But you can't do anything if your mind ain't right.
Right. Well, I like to add too, when you do feel that feeling of guilt, or whatever comes up for people if they feel bad, it closes
Yes.
off their chakra system. I mean, if you could just sit here, and because we can all remember a time where we're like, "Oh, I shouldn't have did that." Feel
Yep.
how your stomach feels versus, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I had that money to spend at Target. And look at the tops I got." And then your chakra system opens up. So you're
Yes.
more in connection.
Yes. And the energy is flowing, and the energy is just flowing. And that was a challenge for me too. So every time I would hit, the high of everything working out, human, right? I'd hit the low, and I'd hit the high, and I hit the low. So I hit a high, and then I hit my low, and I sat down in October, and I was like, "Okay, let's get back grounded again." I think we're always regrounding. And since October, I made this October 7th of 23. Since then, it's just been popping. It's just been beautiful. Beautiful. No
What a blessing.
complaints.
What a
Grateful.
blessing. What a blessing. I feel like this is such an important message for all the listeners because we all have been raised with certain money mindset blocks, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and we it's a constant thing. Something that I love that you said was you put the oil everywhere. You put that envelope in your purse. You put the oil on your money. You see your altar every day. You're constantly being reminded that magic is happening
Yes.
versus running around like a crazy person trying to make it happen.
Or just making the altar, and then and another thing too, don't have your altar somewhere you don't see it every single moment of the day. My altar right now, I can see it, it's right across from me. It's at the door that I go in and out of a million times to exit my house, to come in, to exit, to come in, which is at the exit of my living room. So when I'm sitting down in my living room, I can see my altar. When I leave, I see my altar. When I'm sitting here, I see my altar constantly. When I open my purse, I see my red envelope with my $100 bill in there, drenched in oil. I see my check. I smell it. It's like a mantra in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's constant. That bell that's ringing, mindful bell. Well, I don't have the mindful bell. I have it in my purse. I have it on my altar. I have it in my hands. So to remind me of like this beautiful, and it reminds you because again, when I made it, like I said, I made love to it. So when I see it, I remember the day I made it. I remember how much fun I had that day. I mean, we had a blast. I made it with a group of ladies that I was showing them how to make it. So we were all making it together. It was me, my daughter, my girlfriend, and her daughter, right? So we made it together and we had so much fun making it. And we were all getting all jazzy in it. And so when I see it, I remember that joy
Yeah.
too.
I think it's important to note too for the listeners that when we are manifesting, it's so important to use all of our senses. And so
Mhm.
you did that during that day. You had laughter and joy, and you could smell it. And when you're setting your intention, you were feeling the feeling of the new car. You're feeling the feeling of the vacation. Maybe you smelled the air of where you like to go on vacation. Like the more
Mhm.
senses that you could use during a manifestation ritual, the more it's going to go to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is going to go out to receive what you need to get to that next step. Like we
Yep.
don't have to know the how. We just have to know what it is and what it feels like.
And let it go and trust and believe it too. You have to trust. You can't ask for something and then continue to ask for it over and over every day, reminding the universe, hey, did you hear about that? I said I wanted a car. Like, hello, did you hear me? Let it go. Make your altar. Look at your altar. Smile at your altar. Feel the joy for your altar. Feel the joy for everything. But the joy in knowing that it's was received. Not that you got to keep asking.
I like that. Yeah, I know. I saw a meme the other day that said I asked for a sign and then I asked for a sign to show me the sign again or something like that. It's like,
Oh my God, that used to be me. That was me really bad. But this time around, because I go through my peaks and valleys too. We all do, and I think we shouldn't punish ourselves for those moments of like, well, you fell off the wagon and remember. I think we shouldn't punish ourselves because I'm like, oh my God, you fell off your wagon again, and I'll have a miserable month. I'll have a miserable 2 months. But then I remember, okay, you're making yourself miserable because you're upset, you're angry, things are not happening fast enough. And now you're caught in those emotions again. And so then I feel that rituals for me help me because if I'm stuck in a rut and then I finally get off my ass and say, okay, let me get all my herbs, and get all my oils and get all my candles. I have a ton of that stuff. And then I sit with my table and I find joy again. I find joy again. So when I'm building and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this feeling. I remember how this feels. And then I find joy in it again. And that helps break you out of that.
I love it.
So
I love it. So, where can people find you in the online space to connect with you?
So you can connect with me at my business page is Barbara Kneeland on Facebook. And then I do have Healing at Home, which is my group. And then you're welcome to friend request me too. That's Beeland, Beeland.
Yeah, that's your
And
name
then
on Facebook.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then hit me up through Messenger. If you want to connect and learn some stuff.
Yeah, I love it. You have a YouTube channel as well?
I do. Yep, it's Healing at Home.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah,
Yep,
because I know you
Healing
make
at Home.
some of
Doing
your
everything at
little,
home.
yeah, because you make some of your little ritual things on there on your YouTube,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I think what I'll do too with the money one, I think the next time I make the money one, once this oil's all finished, I'll do another one. I'll probably do it online. That'd be fun. You know,
Oh,
everybody has.
one more thing is before we started recording, you were talking about when you make these, you don't post it online.
No,
Can you share
no.
it with the listeners why?
Yes. The reason I don't, I love everyone. I think everyone is great. I love everyone, but not everyone loves you. Okay. So I don't and again, I show this because it's almost done. I don't because I don't want anyone's judgment towards it, or oh, that's bullshit, or negative energy towards the stuff I'm creating. And I find that that's just the best way to go about it, because you might post something that you love that you created, and then you got the evil eyes coming at it like, oh, that's stupid, or what is she thinking, or that's not going to work, and dropping the commentary, and that can put you in a space towards your own stuff. So I
Yeah.
just don't. I don't. I made the oil the day I made the oil. I also made my witch's ball, and I sent that to you. But again, I didn't post it. I don't want anyone's energy. There's good energy and there's not so good energy. So I like to stay in that high vibration, and I
Yeah, that would be almost like somebody's courting to your ritual, right? Somebody's courting
yes,
to it. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So you know, yeah,
Ah, so yeah, well, plus you made it for your own self anyway. Yeah.
yes, and it smells so good, and it smells so good. You could drink it.
I wish we had smell-o-vision. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast and sharing all your magic with the listeners today.
Thank you for having me. Oh, and one more thing. When you're burning your candle, just have the bowl of water under too, because sometimes the oil make the flame a little higher. So just be smart. I've had a few candles that like blew up like fire like that. And I was like, yeah, baby, get it. I let it burn. But I'm just saying, it's like that's some money right there. But just be mindful when you're burning your candle.
Mindful, safety first, people, safety
Safety
first.
first. Yeah.